Hey guys, in this lesson, I'm going to show you a no-code tool called Outgrow. Outgrow allows you to create all kinds of interactive content like quizzes, calculators, chatbots, and recommendations. Today, we'll make an outcome quiz, and through a series of questions, we'll determine which no-code tool a user should use to create a mobile app based off their answers. This is a great tool for creating engaging content, so I hope you find it useful. We'll only be using Outgrow today, and it will take about 15 minutes to get through, so let's jump into it. So from the Outgrow dashboard, select the outcome quiz content type, and you can select from a template or start from scratch, and I'm going to start from this Venice template. So you can change how your quiz looks here. So you can use predefined palettes or create custom ones. And play around with the tint as well. And under this branding section in the logo area is where you can change the logo that appears here. And this is just your welcome screen. You don't have to have one. So we're going to change this to say Dalo or glide ? And the subheading is going to say find out which tool you should use to build your mobile app. For the button text, we'll say start. And now we'll go to our first question. So our question 1 will be, how are your design skills? And then we'll have a few different options. And I'm going to change the icon. To be this little circle. Option 2 will be awful. I don't want to think about it. We'll change the icon on this as well. We'll add one more option that says good. So now let's go to our second question. Which will be, do you need to connect to APIs beyond Google Analytics and Zapier? We'll have 2 basic options. Yes and no. Our third question, we'll ask, is it okay if your app is available on a phone, but not necessarily through the App Store? Option 1 will be no, needs to be in the App Store. And option 2 will be yes. Yes, as long as it is available on a phone. For 4, we're going to ask, do you need the mobile app to also function as a web page? Super simple, we'll have no and yes. And our last question will be, do you need the ability to have a ratings functionality? With a yes, no option. So now that we have our questions, we need to set up our outcomes. So we only have one outcome right now, and the first one will be, you should check out Glide, and we'll add a little description. And let's add a photo. We'll upload one. Now let's go back and add our outcome 2, which will say, sounds like Adalo is the tool for you. And we'll say in the description a little bit about the tool. And again, we'll add a photo. And you can change the call to action. So if you wanted to link to more content related to the outcome, you could redirect users. And for, let's say, the Adalo outcome, you could say, learn more about Adalo now. And then I would go and grab some of my content by copying the URL and putting it here. So now I have a button and my social has moved to the side. So now let's do this for outcome 1. Learn to build your first app now. Cool. And make sure when you're doing 2 different calls to action, you have this common to all outcomes turned off. So now that we have our outcomes, we need to go back to our questions and set the outcomes for each answer. And how this works is that you are going to get the outcome that ranks the highest. But I have a few questions where no matter what the other variables are, they should use Adalo or they should use Glide. For example, you can only do a web app with Adalo, so if that's what they said they needed, then I wouldn't want to recommend them to Glide. So now we're going to set our outcomes for our answers, and it's going to rank the outcome based off, and it's going to give the end user an outcome based off the ranking of their answers. So if someone says fantastic, I want to map to the outcome of Adalo. If they say awful, I want to map to Glide. And for good, I'll do Adalo as well. For question 2, if they need to connect to APIs beyond those 2, then I'm going to map to Adalo. And if they don't need beyond those 2 APIs, then I will map to Glide. For question 3, since you can't be on the App Store using Glide, if they answer yes, it needs to be in the App Store, then I want to automatically trigger that the outcome is Adalo. So to do this, I'm going to add a logic jump where if this answer is equal to no needs to be in the App Store, it jumps to Adalo and hit done. And I'll go ahead and map this second answer to Glide. Question 4 is similar. You can view a Glide app on a desktop, but it's not the same thing as a web app. So if they say yes, then I want it to automatically go to Adalo. Done. If they say no, I'll map to Glide. For question 5, the ratings functionality, you can't do rating like 5 stars in Adalo, but you can in Glide. So I'm going to map this outcome to Glide. I'll map this to Adalo. And I'm not going to set a logic jump because you could hack your way around this in Adalo, even though it's not the same as just having the 5-star component available. So now we are all set up. We can preview. So it looks like I would benefit from using Glide, and we'll take it one more time to test the logic jumps. So now that it looks okay, we can go back into Outgrow and hit go live. And this is where you can set a custom domain. So we'll copy that, check it out in the browser, and it looks good. So this is just one of the many ways you can use Outgrow to create interactive content and engage with your community, customers, or end users. If you have any questions, please reach out, and thanks for watching.